yeah, how come nobody just asks Megan and Cardi, hey, does this bother you that they're in the video of your song?
Yeah.
And if they said no, we asked her to be in it, then we should all
Don't
shut the
catch me
fuck up.
slipping if I'm actually thinking you're acting different. Manic, spitting sounds of manic depressant. Going through.
All right. So what's grinding your gears, Fred?
So I recently saw the Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B video.
Let's talk about it.
It's insane, right? And then, so there's a point of the video where it stops and they go to Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Right? And then, at that point, you know, they're getting a lot of backlash, like petitions, because people are saying they want Kylie Jenner out of the video.
WAP or WAP, I don't know how you pronounce it. I mean, we know how it's pronounced, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like, and then, you know, one person was like, oh, you know, you had all these beautiful ladies of color, and then you have this colonizer coming in.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, when does it stop? Where's that line where it's not, we're not doing a can't beat them, then join them type thing, right? Right, because I'm like, Kylie ain't do nothing. Like, what are you talking about? She colonizer. Like, I mean, it's like that type of stuff is just.
Yeah. You know what? The Kardashians, they get beat up a lot for shit that don't really got nothing to do with them. You know what I mean? One, they're Albanian or something like that, right? Or Algerian? Armenian. It was one of the R's, you know, or the L's or the, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
They got discriminated against pretty early on. Not to say that it's the same. I'm not trying to compare that, but yeah, I did see like all the hate for that, and I was kind of confused by it. I'm cool if you don't want her in it because, see, what I'll say, this is what I'll say. If you don't want her in it because from what I saw in the video, and it's very hard to focus on anything that is not Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B in that video. I mean, God bless these two women of fucking, it's also powerful and mad. So I get people like, we need to evolve how we talk about these. I have no problem with how sexual the video it is. I think it's banging. I think it's very sexual. And, you know, I'm a dude and whatever. I don't have a problem with it. Like dudes that say, oh, well, that's hoe shit or whatever. Y'all corny. Anyway. But there are a lot of artists in the video too. Right? There's like, obviously Megan and Cardi. There's Rosalia. There's who else is in this fucking video? It's a bunch of rappers and chicks that are singers and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you wanted to make the argument to get her the fuck out of there and replace her with Beyonce or some shit like that, right? I could see that argument. That's a more powerful thing, right? Because this is an artist, or even if it was fucking, even if you didn't want it to be another black woman and you said it wanted to be fucking Mariah Carey or some shit like that, right? It would make more sense to me because it's artists, right? Kylie Jenner being in there is almost like the Pepsi commercial. It's like, what the fuck does this even mean? You know, what was the point of you being in here? Exactly. But to your point though, we're getting to the point where I'm gonna be honest. I saw from what I saw on Twitter, a lot of the black women I saw on Twitter didn't really care that much. You know what I mean? They clowned Kylie for being in it because they're like, you can't fuck with Megan or Cardi or none of these chicks that are in this video. You know what I mean? Like the way that they unveil Kylie is almost like she's this fucking queen or some shit like that.
Yeah.
When she's okay. Look, she's good looking. She's okay looking in the scope of how fine some of these other chicks are.
Right.
To my local Brian, she would be the finest woman I've ever met in person. Right.
Right.
But a lot of the black women and women of color that I saw on Twitter didn't really give a fuck. sometimes I think this is white people that are going all the way far right, and your experience might be different than mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is white people that go all the way over here, just like with the looting, where it's like mad white people getting all extra with the looting and shit during the riots. And it's like, hey, black people are like, hey, chill out. Where they're just like that white guilt almost is like, no, get that white woman out of here. You know what I mean? It's just like.
Well, I mean, the comments I saw, they were from, it looked like, well, I mean, as much as you can see on Twitter.
Yeah.
From like a lot of black women.
Okay.
I guess my thing is that when we talk about keeping it the same energy,
yeah,
I don't think like this is something where, you know, like I see why they did it, because Kylie is a influencer of one of the highest, you know, like degrees. Like
she's like a billionaire right now or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, even if she's made a lot of money. And when you talk about all the Kardashians, if you would have said this like, I don't know what, 10 years ago, no one would ever say Kylie would be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
sure. She was the least attractive. You know, a lot of plastic surgery and all that, but you know, but for her, she's you know.
Yeah, and I, you know, again, it's just one of those things where, obviously, you know, Meg and Cardi B had no problem with her. You know, like they, you know, and they're probably friends. You know what I mean? And they asked her to be in the video, probably. Like, you know, like just to ratchet up everything that was going on. And I don't know, it's just like now we're in these times where it's like and I guess the fact that people spend so much energy, like they sign a petition without a person. And you have that much in you that you're gonna take that. I mean, you're just being
the same. You're being the same as the other side, no question about it.
Right. And when you call like and you know and here's another thing I have trouble with what I see, you know, and this is from like, you know, just being in a lot of minority, you know, in the community, you know, we'll talk about like you know, they'll be like, oh, these rappers. Oh, well, I don't know if you heard about Talib Kweli, the drama that happened with him. He's been basically roasting this girl.
Yeah, but he does this on Twitter all the fucking time. But
yeah, he's on Twitter, and he didn't let the brakes off because.
But before we go there, let me just say one last thing about the WAP video.
Yeah.
To your point. Shit, I almost forgot. Hold on, let me get it back real quick, because then you went on Talib and I.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go back over here. Kylie Jenner. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, how come nobody just asks Megan and Cardi, hey, does this bother you that they're in the video of your song?
Yeah.
And if they said, no, we asked her to be in it, then we should all shut the fuck up and move on. Pretty much.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's like, yo, why don't you just ask them? One, Megan, I mean, the Megan Tory Lane story happened leaving her party. I think Megan and Kylie are like homies.
Yeah.
You feel me? So why don't you ask Megan? You know, how about we stop making decisions for people? You know what I mean? You cannot like the optics and just move on with your life, right? Because why don't you go sign a petition about gin and juice when Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg start popping the 40, but like all the people start just shooting 40s on the one chick who's leaving the party because whatever? You're going to sign a petition for that?
Yeah.
You're going to sign a petition about Dr. Dre beating the shit out of his wife? Like, there are real life situations. You know what I mean? You have a problem because they included her in the video. Why don't you ask them if they had a problem with it? Or if they actually wanted her there, then we should all shut the fuck up and just move on with our lives. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're wasting too much energy on things that just is really not that important, bro. Is not that important.
Oh, exactly. And the thing is, like, Kylie doesn't, to my knowledge, doesn't really do a lot of that stuff.
You don't even know. But the thing is we don't know these people's real fucking life.
Exactly.
Bro, we don't know any of their real life.
Yeah.
She's the one who has the baby with Travis Scott, or am I
Yeah.
or with one of them, but one of
Travis
Tiger,
Scott,
I
yeah.
think Tiger, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. She has a baby, or she dated one of them. Listen. I don't fucking know.
Both.
I get a headache.
Both.
Huh?
Both.
Oh, she has a baby with both of them.
No. She's been in a relationship with
Oh,
both.
with
I don't
both
know
of
if she
them.
had a kid. I don't think. Oh, you know what? I think she did have a kid with both.
Okay, well, whatever. Here's the thing. You don't know their life. You don't actually know their real life. You're
Right.
making these crazy decisions based on optics. You know what I
Right.
mean? And optics do have a place. So let me not shit on it. Optics do have a place. But you know what? In hip hop, in my opinion, optics don't have that much of a place in hip hop. You know what I mean? Because hip hop, I just don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? It don't bother me. And if it don't bother them, it shouldn't bother anybody else. You know what I mean? Because that to me, people taking out a petition to stop Kylie from being in the video is no different than dudes being like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi, that they can't be housewives because the way they are in this video. There's no difference to that. Why don't you leave the choice in their hands to do whatever the fuck they want to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the same energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel like I'm more. The thing is, like, here's the thing. I feel like they should have the right to do it. But I think one of my concerns is and I know this is making me sound like mad old or like mad like Puritan, but I do feel like art does influence, and not so much like older people, but like kids, and I guess I'm just seeing it because the way I'm seeing my students, how what they say. Like I remember when I first started working at the school, I got a kid singing, "I got that good cushion alcohol," and like they want to do like it. The thing is, I'm pretty sure they haven't found studies as far as music, like linking music to violence, or like video games to violence. I mean, like to things, which I think is kind of a hard thing to even find out anyway. But
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I know, like, I see young people imitating stuff that they see, right? And a lot of it is because of what they see on, on art. And that's the thing. And it ends up being the stuff that they like. Like Cardi was like, hey, look, people talk about all the stuff, that I talk about, and it's crazy. But, she's like, people like it. Like she's like, there's conscious rappers. You could go look at, you could go and, they're making music, like, or they're not doing stuff like that we do. Like, they're not like Rhapsody, right? Who's vicious, by the way. But did you say?
Yes, Rhapsody is fire. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, got you. No, I thought you went like, ugh.
No, Rhapsody is fire. She's my favorite, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, when the thing is, that's not what is, basically that. I bet you most kids now, they don't even know who Rhapsody is.
Correct.
Right? So there's not that, they're not bombarded by those.
But they know who J. Cole is, though.
Yeah.
They know who Kendrick is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think, the thing is, though, I think of at least what, again, and this is me, just of my students.
Yeah.
They know them, but they don't. They bump like the singles.
Yeah.
But not like really the whole album.
Yeah.
And then they're listening to like a majority of their stuff is the more ignorant type of stuff.
But most people don't bump whole albums anymore anyway. I mean, I think that's just the transition in how people listen to music.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like with the conscious, you're
not getting a full message anymore.
Exactly. And then not only that, but even, I mean, when's the last Kendrick song that came out? It's
been a while for Kendrick. It's been 3 years, I think, since Damn came out.
And it's not like they're pumping out like
we're starving for a Kendrick album right now.
Right. No, and it's also like very like the scale is
Yeah.
like way outweighed. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. There's
So,
more of this music than there is of this music.
right.
But the
And
thing is, yeah, go ahead.
and the really thing, and the thing is though, you can. I think we're at a point where you can't even stop it. You can't stop it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when people used to say like, oh well, you know, you just got to watch what your kids do. You know, like it's their, it's the parents thing. It's too hard now. Everyone has once with internet, you cannot limit. Once a kid turns a certain age, they're gonna go after, and then plus they listen to stuff. Like I know my kid has been exposed to stuff on that school bus from a kid who has a cell phone that
For
has
sure.
no parental controls
Yeah,
on it. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So I guess that's my thing, man. Like I see it, but I also see I see a lot of young kids imitating what they see.
Here's the thing. This is where not that I'm gonna disagree with you. I get the concern. I understand it. We grew up with gangster rap. You know
Right.
what I mean? And when I think back sometimes, and I'm gonna reference an example, a positive example, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not really positive because I didn't know what I was saying. But when I think about rap music, music in general, but rap music especially, when we used to rap the lyrics back in the day, I don't think we actually had any idea what we were saying half the time anyway. Right? And when I think about Tupac Changes, I used to sing the shit out of Tupac Changes, right?
Yeah.
And everybody used to be like, 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. And guess what? Ain't nobody know what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
We sang it, it became so normalized. We sang it like it didn't mean anything. And then as I became an adult and found out, oh, it's about Huey Newton, you realize he's actually saying a thing, right? People, I think, treat rap especially in a way that these rappers are not saying anything. So when people are recounting those lyrics, I don't think they might as well be saying gibberish. I don't think they know what any of these lyrics actually mean. They don't actually respond to them as words. It's almost like what's the word I'm trying to think of for like commonly used phrases, like might as well, for example. There's a descriptor for that, right? Where you say like might as well do this or something like that, right? Where you'll have people say who don't know that they'll say mine as well or mine as well.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
don't know that the actual word is might as well because they don't actually take the time to review the English being used.
Right.
They say, hey, you're saying the words might as well. These are words and they actually mean something. But we take words for granted so often that I don't think most people know what they're saying. You know what I mean? Half the time anyway. So not to say that I disagree with what you're saying per se. I do think it can be concerning. And I think that the lack of filter now because of cell phones and because of the internet being everywhere makes it an even scarier time. But I do think people persevere anyway. And I think that the same people that were at risk when gangster music came out are the same people that are at risk today. People who have trouble at their homes, who don't have both parents available to them. Those are the same people that are always going to be at risk. Whether the music changes or not doesn't make a difference to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of where I
stand. So I mean, and I and I always struggle with this. As far as like this topic because I think it's important, right? Because they have never been able to link those things hand in hand. And I feel like you kind of just more see the link between, like you're right, like someone who is already at risk is probably going to do this type of stuff. I just think when I see a lot of imitation from what they're seeing, right? Yeah. So, I think I've said this before, a bartender, was telling me like, people literally come in and just ask for stuff that they hear in music. Yeah. So nobody knew what Moscato was. Yeah. So then when they were getting a glass of wine, they're like, what? Like you had these dudes like asking for Moscato thinking that it's like a liquor. Yeah. And they're getting a glass of wine. Mm-hmm. So like it's like a clear, I mean, the fact that I guess and my thing is the fact that they've been able to use hip hop commercially to influence a lot of things. How does that stop?
Yeah.
Right. So how does that not stop with a lot of the messaging that has been given? Right. If they could get me to buy, like, to Ace of Spades, to buy clothes, and all this other stuff,
yeah.
and to get tatted up, and to do a lot of things, how is it that the other stuff doesn't count?
The drugs and the other shit.
Right. You know what I mean? And so I guess that's my, and the thing is, I don't really have an answer. It's just that all I could see is anecdotally from my end, like what I see, like, you know, my students, like, I'll see them like trying to do the things, like imitating, you know, what they see on TV. And like we always talk about, young people are so impressionable.
For sure.
I'm like, but I mean, and like even now more than ever, bro, like there's so much content. Like, I literally, every student that walks in, like, to our place always has headphones in.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
You can't do anything without like AirPods or the headphones that come with the iPhone, you know, the corded ones. Like, you just see them. Like, they're constantly listening and listening and listening, which we did that too. But it's just like constant. And the thing is, hip hop has become like the biggest,
for sure,
genre.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's popular music.
It's just the way it is. You know, you can pump out music so much faster than if you're a rock band.
Correct.
Because you have like instrumentation, you're trying to write these songs, and you can't, with hip hop, you know, you could be a rapper and just like sift through beats and then just
I write 3 songs in a night
and then plug it in, right?
Correct.
So I guess that's my thing. Like, that's I think my biggest concern. But I mean, this has been going on for the longest. And you know, I don't know if it's just something we've always seen. But I guess it's always like, we always say, oh, again, I just think there's the same energy isn't what we're putting in, you know, where we're talking about all this serious stuff like civil unrest, and then, you know, and, you know, people need a break. And you know what, I guess people are doing all kinds of stuff. There's music for every type of mood.
For sure.
But also, we also realize that, you know, one of the reasons now why certain artists are as big as they are is because of video, social media, right? It might not be based. Like, do you think that song is banging without the video?
I don't know the words of the song. I don't know the words of the song.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, when I saw it, I was just trying to concentrate on the song, and I'm like, it's not like that good of a song.
I think it's a banger. It's a banger. You know what I mean? It's a banging beat, but I don't go to videos to find good songs anyway. You know what I mean? I think it's a good video. Aside from the joke perverted part of me that is like obviously highly attracted to these women, but I think the video was fire. I think it's a banging visual. You know what I mean? The song, there's not a whole lot of Megan Thee Stallion songs I like. Even when people were going crazy for Cardi's last album, I didn't think it was that good, but now I like rappers. So like No Name is when it comes to women rappers, No Name is my favorite women rapper, but I just think she's one of the better writers generally in rap. So I'll always love her album over Cardi B's album. And if you listen to it, you'll see that it's a completely different genre of rap music. You know what I mean? But not to say that Cardi hasn't had good songs or that Megan hasn't had good songs. But this song is not necessarily a song that I'm like going to be banging. I think it's a banging beat. You know what I mean? Pretty much kind of how I thought about it.
Yeah, it's a weird, because it's not like it's one of those songs where I feel like you got to rap on. The beat you got to rap on.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like they're like the most known for their lyrics, right?
Correct.
So I guess that's where you kind of see the, you know, like kind of like that's why it probably won't. But without the video, the publicity of the video, you might not be getting, you know, any movement with the song.
Maybe. I mean, people do love Cardi, though. People do love Megan. And with what happened with Megan, I think people were going to check for any music she dropped anyway. But we wouldn't be talking. You and I wouldn't be talking about this right now. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other people who wouldn't be talking about it without the video. Right. There's hours of content on YouTube of people reacting to the video in very mad, perverted, sophomore ways, which is just like mad uncouth. But yeah, either way, I mean, listen, I don't have a problem with the video either way. I think our influencing life will be a conversation that existed before us and is going to exist well past when we're gone. Well, if there's a world past when we're gone, we may go with the world. And no one will know the answer, because just like most studies, it's always going to be hard to take a study without ever thinking about all the other influences in a person's life that could have influenced the results of the study, right? So, you know, who knows? Go figure.
Yo. Won't catch me slipping if I'm actually thinking. You're acting different, manic, spitting sounds of manic depressant, going through